continue. Let's say for those of you that are going to watch this class now, like after I started recording it right now, we've covered typography, and so let me just give a bit of a recap. Um, if you want to type something, all you just have to do is come to the text tool here and you type. You understand? It's as simple as that. Now, when you want to edit what you have typed, you come to the character tool. So you can get your character tool by going here, and you get your character tool. You get, so it pops up here, and you can change your text here. You can change the typeface or the font here. You get, then you can come here and change the font of the typeface or the thickness of the font, anyhow you understand it. You get the thickness of the font, you're going to see it here, and you can as well change it to italics. You get, so yeah, you can come here and change the size of the font, so it can be as big as you want or as small as you want, depending on what you want. Then this is going to help you. So let me use this font for example. This is going to help you change the space in between the text, and you can actually just increase this by hovering over this place. If you hover over here, you can increase, just keep on dragging your mouse, you can increase the space in between two lines. Then you can as well increase the space in between two characters by stretching this, or even coming here and changing it. Do you understand? So yeah, I hope I'm not too fast. Then if you want to select a text, like now for example there are two texts, because I noticed that I had done that and you guys did not know what I did. If you want to select this layer, generally any layer on Photoshop, you can come to the layer, especially because me, I don't, so my auto select is turned off and I like it that way. But your auto select is turned on, you can just easily come and select it and it's selected. You get, I don't like it because it means that I can select anything unintentionally and I'll never know what I selected. So I like to turn it off. So you can leave your own on. I know a lot of designers that actually leave their own turned on and they design perfectly well. You get, but that's just my own preference. So my auto select is not on, and I want to select a text. I can either go to the layer bar and look for where that text is and select it, or I can come here. I want to select one for example. Now I'll right click. If I right click on it, I'm going to see a pop-up bar showing me a couple of things. So there's artboard. Do I want to select artboard one? Artboard one is the whole artboard. Let's say I selected that. What's going to show me is that I selected the whole artboard. But if I right click again, it's going to show me artboard one and show me the particular thing I want to select. Depending on how voluminous your artboard is, you're going to see a lot of things, so you can just come and select the particular one that you want to select. So let me explain for you. If I have a rectangle on top of this thing, so this is a rectangle, I have it here on top of this. Let me give it a fill. So you can come here and give it a fill, call it black. Now nothing is selected. If this black now is on top of this text, if I want to select the text, I will still come here, right click, and you see that now there's rectangle and there's this. The reason why rectangle is showing is because rectangle is on top of UBU BUI, because it was part of the things I right click. But if I right click only on this, UBUI is going to show. But if I right click on this, only rectangle is going to show. If I right click on this, because rectangle and UBUI, they are on top of each other. Do you get? If I right click, let me say I've done this, then so let me just, so you understand what I'm saying. If I right click on this now, you see that everything will show because they are on top of each other. Do you get? That's why. So you not on your own now come and select the one you actually want to select. Then that way you can move it. You can come again, select another one, and then move it. So let me go back again. Now, if I leave my auto select on, I can easily just come and select anything and drag it. So that's the benefit of leaving your auto select on. Do you get? So this is a very this was a diversion, but I think it was a very important diversion. Now, like I was saying, you can come here and change the kerning, so the space in between each and every one of your text. So you can change it based on. So that's how you see, for example, um I think the kerning on this whole document is the same thing. Like there's no write up that has a larger kerning than the other. Let me see. Same thing here. I think that way is uniform, except there's something you want to highlight in the design. You get. Um. Yeah. How many of us have followed up to this extent? How many of us have followed up to this extent? Let me know. Do you have a question? Is there anything that I've said that is confusing? So that we can so that I know that we are following the class. How many has followed up to this extent? Did somebody raise up their hand? All right, all right. Thank you, Zainab. Who else has followed up to this extent? All right, Oluwafemike, I'm seeing you. Thank you very much, Joyce. I want to know, is there anybody that is practicing as I'm teaching? Is there anybody practicing as I'm teaching? All right. Um, that's fine. So just try. If you're doing that, I don't know. Depends on how fast you are at learning. Try to keep up the pace. But some people prefer to just like sit down and you know watch me do my stuff. Then later on they are going to go back and practicalize. So the next thing I want to teach you is more on the technical aspect of typography. So it is hierarchy. And so just like the same way hierarchy in, let's say, the a company, or in church, or in power and position for short, you get. That's how hierarchy exists in design. So these designs I was talking about. So there are some designs you see, like this is probably a graphic designer or an agency that did these documents. And basically what they are saying, if I want to go in now. So they say you will read this first, then you will read this next in line. You probably read this before the paragraph. Exactly. Even though there's a paragraph here, you probably come and read this one before the paragraph. You will go back to read the body copy if you want to know more. It takes the most effort to read because it has a lot of text in a small font, lightweight, with tight line spacing. Many people will skip paragraphs like this unless if they aren't engaged right away. This is why it is important to draw attention to your message using visual hierarchy. And At some point, you may come back to read this line, or maybe not. Um, what just played out now is hierarchy. Now, let me show you. I don't know why this thing is hanging. I really don't know why. Alright. If you look at this design, the first thing you're going to read is this one. The second thing you're probably going to read is this because it is close to this. The third thing you're going to read is, this, and both because of the font size, font weight, and font level, and because there's a picture close to it. Then before you now read this, because it's like a footer note, then you will now probably read everything again and make sense of it. Do you understand? So this is a design by Carrie Wise, and I think for them they really wanted to highlight the topic that this speaker is speaking on. Do you understand? That's a very good way to use hierarchy. A very, very there's probably like a parent's flyer for this event, and they just wanted to highlight the speaker. Do you understand? So hierarchy is just basically understanding what comes first, what comes second, and applying that in design. So it's just an arrangement of importance. I think you can call it that. It's an arrangement of importance. And this means that if you're designing a flyer, for example, what is important is not what people will see, is what you have arranged to be important. That is what people are going to see. You get. Um, so you can achieve hierarchy by a couple of things. One, by the size and thickness of the design of the text. So if I select this now and say, let's do, I'm thinking of the kind of flyer that we can do, or the kind of design that we can do. Let's do, um, let's do YouTube thumbnail, for example. Sorry, I need to, I'm coming. Let me get a picture. Okay, let's use this lady. So there's a lot of rules for YouTube thumbnails. First of all, YouTube thumbnails. I think the reason why I want to use a YouTube thumbnail because that is a very big way to understand how hierarchy works. And because we're using this artboard kind of style, we can either reduce the size of this artboard or just create another smaller artboard. But let's reduce it. This is not like the accurate size for YouTube thumbnail. I think if there's anything, this is actually even wrong. But let's just increase it a bit. Okay, so we're going to go back here, get our image. Remember I told you how to drag an image on Photoshop, so you want to drag it. Who wants to give me a suggestion of what the thumbnail is going to be called? Of what, let's say, what we want the girl to talk about. Give me ideas. Let's get ideas from us. You see? What do you say? What did you say? I heard somebody say something. Alright. Oh, voila. I don't know. I'm not getting feedback from us, but let's just do this. So we're going to first of all take this picture down so that the picture is behind the text that is here, because we want to still use this text. We're just going to drag this text on top so that we can use it. Remember, I told you guys about this in the beginning. Then you can come here and call it, let's say, typography class. So let's say you want to teach beginners typography, like you don't know anything about typography before now. Let's just call it typography class. Typography class. I don't know. Let's remove this class because I feel like, so you can even break it if you want. Some people don't like to break a text, but me, I don't mind. So you can now change the thickness of the font. Maybe make it a black, and nothing is stopping us from actually even changing the whole typeface. So we can use Benny. So Benny is a thicker typeface. So we can use Benny. Then I want to reduce. So see this arrow that if you hover around this function here, you can reduce it or increase it. You understand? So I want to increase everything. I can just come here and drag it, and everything increases. So typography. Then I want to name it typography. Let's take this, bring it here. So I want to make a capital letter as well so that it's in uniform. You understand? And to make it capital letter, all I just had to do is to turn on my caps lock so that as I'm typing, it's in capital letter. Yeah, I just remember that I didn't show you guys some stuff on this, but I'll show you guys just now. So typography for beginners. This is too long. I can come here as well and reduce the font size. So take this here and call it typography for beginners. Now, here are some things I didn't show you in the beginning. You can come here, and this is the color of the text, the actual color of the text, not the background color, not the shadow color. This is how you can change the color. Just click on this once, just have to click on it once, and you change the color to whatever it is you want to change it to. Change the color to this. I think next week we're supposed to talk about colors, and that's supposed to be, please, if you're coming for that class, come with all of your heart because it's a very important class. So yeah, we can change the color by just selecting on the color wheel. Now you're seeing only red. How do we change it to blue? You come here and take this thing up, and as you keep on going up the color slider, you see that you can change different things on this. You get? So yeah, let's say you want it to be purple. You come in between here. This is like a lighter version of purple. This is a much darker version of purple, and this is a paler version of purple. You get? So I think this is I really love the idea of this. You get? If maybe you come to your color picker and you see that it's not looking like this, maybe you have selected this, 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 or this. So this is hue. I think this is something scale or so, but I know that this is brightness. Then this is red, green, and blue. You get? So you put it here. So this RGB, normal stuff. So hue is the best place to put it so that you're doing it according to the hue color. Or sometimes you can come here and you see that it's like this. It's because only web color is selected. And I think when they say web colors, they're talking about websites. So yeah, make sure that this is unchecked. Make sure that this thing is selected to here. So this shows you the new color that you want to select, and this shows you the current color of the text you get, or you can call it the old color. I think they should have called it that. So you can change it to white. And yeah, come here as well. You want to change this to white as well. You get changed to white. So just like that text, just like this stuff that we had read, it says typography. It says you read this first. If you look at this now, the first thing you're going to read is this before you now read this. There's something I wanted to talk about before I got distracted by the colors. So if you carry a text, for example, now you can come here and animate it the way, like edit it the way you want. So you can change, you can make it bold. So this is for to make it bold. Let's uncheck that. This is to make it italicized. This is to make it a capital letter. So let's say it were to be it were a small letter before. If you click on this, it becomes a capital letter. This is to make it smaller. So when you have, like, for example, sorry, let me select my text tool again. Come here and say my caps lock is still on. So I say 13th. So this is like when you want to select 13th. You select and you bring this down. If you bring this down, you see that this T. Sorry. This is not what this is for. I'll show you what this is for. But you see that this T1 is take it up. Then this T1 is to make it I don't know what they call this thing. Like a subscript, exactly. And this is like a superscript. Yes. Then let's remove any of this. Select the whole text. And this one is to underline it. And this one is to cross a stroke across it, like you want to write the naira sign or something. So yeah, let me show you what this is for. This is for different sizes of capital letters. So we have, for example, increase. Both of them are capital letters, but when I select this stuff, you understand what I'm saying. I hope it works exactly as I want it to work. So you can come here and select this. What this will turn, what is actually supposed to turn the design to is, let me see. Exactly. So what it's doing now is I had to turn off my caps lock to make it work. You get. So they are all capital letters, or they are all supposed to be capital letters. I don't know why this is. I think this is the capital letter version of this. So you rarely use this. Depends on what you want to do. If you want to just be artistic, you can actually use this. But basically what it does is that it makes the first letter, everything is capital, but it makes the first letter a bigger capital letter. Then the other letters, they are also capital, but they are smaller. Just like the illustration is here. Capital, but one is, so these are two capital T's, but one is smaller than the other one. Same thing here. If I select all the text now, if I select all the text and click on this instead, you see that everything is capitalized and they are on the same level. But if I select this one, you see that everything is capitalized, but they are not on the same level. Just the first one will be on the capitalized level. Yeah, so that's that for typography. Then, like I said, another thing is hierarchy. Then another thing I wanted to teach us in this class is alignment, because a lot of times you need text alignment, and you also need alignment for a lot of other layers that you use on Photoshop. So alignment is basically, when people say this thing. So I'm going to teach you both alignment in terms of the text alone, and alignment in terms of the artboard. So we have this text here, we have this typography text. I want them to be on this line. You actually don't even need this line, but I just brought out this line so that you can see that they are on the same line. All you have to do is as simple as selecting it here. You see this increase is here, then you go to see typography is here now, so you click on control and select it. Then you now come here and align it according to the way you want to align it. If I want them to be on the same line from the left, you come here and click on this increase, will go there. If I want them to be on the same line, so the way alignment works as well is, if I'm saying, so let's say increase was here before, if I say to the right, they are not going to come to the right of typography, they are going to come to the rightest right. So the element on the rightest right now is increase. If I put them to the right, this is how it's going to be. Typography is now going to come to the right, you get, because the right that we are selecting is here. So let's say increase is here already, and you want typography to be aligned to the right, and this is where the right is. You select the both of them again and you align it to the right. Same thing too, you can align it to the middle and increase in the middle of this. You can align it on top, you can align it to the middle, align it below. So it depends on what you want. You understand? So I think the rule of thumb will be that you guys should just go back and play around with this alignment. Then lastly, before we entertain questions and close for the day, is yeah, so we have a text, for example. Let me just have this written down. um and I'm going to press. My stem is really hanging. So I'm basically waiting for the system to, exactly, so it's done typing. I can come here and break it, so I just have to press enter, just like the way you do on Microsoft Word. Press enter again. Now you see that the text in and of itself is aligned to the right. So either I select everything by pressing Ctrl A and coming here to change the alignment of the text. Now this is of the same text, not of two different texts, and change it to the center or change it to this side. Do you understand? So you can come here and do it. Another place you can come and do it, if you're on properties, you see paragraph here, or paragraph has its own sorry has its own tab, you understand, where you can come here and select. I said that was going to be the last thing, and I realized as I enter paragraph that there's something else. All right, let me delete this. There's what is called a text box, because I want to be able to finish everything concerning typography in today's class. There's what is called a text box, and basically this is how you create a text box. You go carry your text to, rather than just clicking and it appears. Let's remove that. You're going to carry the text box, hold and drag it as big as you want it to be. You can go as wide and as tall, you understand. So let's just work with this. Then the way it is now, what this means is that anything you want to type, you see that anytime as I just clicked on it to type, there are bounding boxes. It means that nothing can exceed these bounding boxes, and these bounding boxes define what your text is going to look like. If I use this bounding box like this now, you see that the text are coming together. A lot of people use this. I don't really use it, you get, but it's an amazing, sometimes when it's necessary I use it. So as I stretch more, so even if you had written 1 million things here, so long as it is not inside the bounding box, it's not going through. So as I'm closing out on this thing now, you see that all the other things are disappearing because they are not inside the bounding box. Now the same way, it works the same way. There's the only difference is that there's a bounding box. So all these things here work the same way they would have worked for every other text, you get. But the difference is, it is only when you create a text box that you can come here and use this equalize, aligned right, justify last last left, exactly, last left, that's what they call it. Justify to the middle, I think it's already done that. Justify to the right, or justify in and of itself. You get, you might not be seeing the effects. Okay, no. So you don't increase it like that. You have to make sure that you maybe double click. So you have to double click on this, and now you see it. You get. So when you double click, you can now be able to increase the bounding box of the text. So you see, as you increase, is is morphing into the justify that I had already selected. As you reduce to, is justifying, because inside the bounding box. That's how the bounding box something works. The text box, sorry, works. So if I justify right, use, I don't know why you're not seeing it move to. I think it's because there are a lot of text. That's why you're not really seeing it move to the right. So if I increase this, so you see now it's moved to the right. You get, and also it's justified, not just. So if I said just right, you see the way it's going to be. The idea of justify right is that everything is justified, but every other fraction of text is under and is aligned to the right. Justify left, that stuff is now going to go to the left. Justify middle is going to go to the middle, but it's going to be justified. You guys know what justify is, right? Justify, like, um in Microsoft Word. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. I think that's all for today. But, like, we can ask questions in, if there's anything I've done that is confusing or you don't really get. Just so you know, I can send these images as well to the group, these pictures here, so that they can help guide your mentality on hierarchy, on typographical hierarchy. So the reason why I downloaded this too is to show you. So there's another thing that they do in this one exists when you want, a lot of people that use this are UI UX designers. When I do brand identity designs, I use this as well. And basically what this tells you is, you know, you've probably also seen this in Microsoft Word before as well, that there's a headline H1, H2, H3, H4, H5. And so if you're creating a very long document, you want to make sure that all the headlines, all the H1 headlines, all the very big headlines, they have the same size, both the same size, the same kerning, the same leading. Same thing H2, H3, H4. If you're using Figma, for example, you can be able to set it in such a way that all you just have to do is click H1 and the text has turned to H1. You understand? But if you're not using Figma and you're using like a software like Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, where you have to manually set it, all you just have to do is probably maybe create this document, create these write-ups. You get this. This really mostly works for document design, but if you want to do flyers, you can use this as well. You get, so you can use this for a brand and say this is how your flyers are going to look at. This is what H1 must be, H2, H3, H4, H5, subtitle, subtitle 2, body 1, body 2, button, caption, overline. You understand? The idea of this is just to make sure that there is uniform hierarchy, so that you're going to communicate to them that every text that is on this H1 is in the same level of importance. The rest that are in this H2 are in the same level of importance as well. The ones that are in H3 are in the same level of importance. You get down to overline. Thank you so much, everybody. Let me know if you have any questions. All right. All right. So, Zainab, please, you can ask your question. Ask your question. Thank you. I didn't see that you raised up your hand. Please ask your question.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Good evening, sir. Thank you so much for the lesson. Thank you so much, sir. Um, my question is that my question is that I've seen okay, I was looking through Pinterest and I saw a particular flyer, and the flyer is on end of February, and then the text of the February is like F is up, E is down, B is up, R is down, U is down, A is up. So like that. What is the effect to that? Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you very much. That's a very good question. So there are a couple of ways to do it. Um, Actually, there's only one way I can think of to do it, not a couple of ways. And that's where you know that design is not play. Some of these designs that you see like that, first of all, they are special designs. And the reason why I'm giving all this pretext is that the maybe so one thing that can exist that I'm not doubting is maybe that's the way that font is. I've seen typography like typefaces that the way they are is that sorry, yeah, I've seen typefaces that the way they are is that automatically they come with their own stroke, automatically they come with their own background, they come with, you get, so anything can exist in a typography. But if you want to do that for any other typography that doesn't have that effect, one way you can do it, and the only way I can think of right now, is write it F. Okay, F. So you go to F. Let's say, I don't know if you guys remembered how I told you guys that you can duplicate something. You click on, oh, sorry, I'm coming. I think I had clicked on something by mistake. Your partner will, ah, all right. So you can come here, like I said, on how you can duplicate a text. Either you right click here and duplicate layer. So when you duplicate, leave it as F. Then you drag it. So my auto select is on. This is why I don't like auto select to be on. So now only F is selected. Then you drag it, um, and you change it to B. Sorry, E, right? February. Then you can zoom in, come here, take it down, take it up again, change it to B. Do you get? So, and especially for when there's an effect. So let's say there's like a stroke on the text. You get? So a stroke like this. Let's call it one. No, no, no. Let's say there's a stroke on the text. So you need to duplicate so that everything is similar. Do you get? So in another class we're going to cover, let's say cover. We're going to cover effects. So you can put effects on text, you can put it on images, you can put it on shapes. I think the class where we talk about shapes, we're also going to cover effects. You get? So effect is basically this button and everything that exists within it. bevel and emboss, stroke, inner, everything. We're going to cover it. You get, so that you are well equipped for Photoshop. So February, so that everything is still in that same effect. Do you understand? And you keep on replicating and going. And just you can even do this. If you go here, you see that the anchor point is going to change to like a U-turn, that kind of thing. Then that U-turn you can turn it like this. You get, turn it like this as well. You get, so yeah, depends on what you want. Um is there any other person that has a question? Thank you, Zainab. I hope I've been able to answer your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Does anybody have any other question? All right. So I'm just going to take it that nobody has any other question. I'll try as much as possible to upload both of the videos today or tomorrow, and you guys are going to get it. Have an amazing rest of your day. Good night.